In Sherman, Texas, a large compound has stood in ruins for decades. The appearance of the place inspires tales of ghosts and mysteries, but the real story is one of a caring community for widows and orphans. Today, we'll tour the Woodmen Circle home in Sherman, Texas.
Texas is full of lost history, from lost cemeteries to abandoned buildings, from the infamous to the obscure. Hitch a ride and travel across the Lone Star State, looking for hints of Texas' colorful past, our lost history. This is Expedition Texas, and we're gonna find it.
The Supreme Forest of the Woodmen Circle was founded in the late 1800s to allow women to purchase insurance. Dora Alexander Talley was one of the founding members. Talley was the driving force behind the building of the Woodmen Circle home in Sherman. The home was meant to be a refuge for widowed or retired members and for the orphaned children of members. The site, previously known as LeBaron Farm, sits on a hill 3 miles west of downtown Sherman, Texas. The main building was opened in 1930. The Pennsylvania building was added in 1933, and the West Wing was added in 1941. The home closed in 1971, but during its life was home to over 100 children and 165 elderly women. The building has changed ownership several times, each new owner having a new idea for how to save the property. Currently, David and Debbie McNeese own the Woodmen Circle compound, and through their research, they have developed a deep love for the story of the home.
The home opened in 1930 in June, and it was quite a wonderful event here in Sherman. There were about 3,000 people that lived here in Sherman, and before the 3 days festivities were ended, about 6,000 people showed up. It was quite a wonderful thing. The idea behind it was that it was not be an institution, that it would be a real home. So when Mr. Alexander came as the superintendent, his wife, Dora Alexander, came with him as the hostess. And those two people became known as Mr. and Missy to the women and to the children that lived there. They instilled values, they instilled ethics and work ethics. So those children and those women became mothers, grandmothers, children that lived together. It was never an institution. The home was actually in existence from 1930 until about 1971 when it did close. During that time, there were about 165 women that came and went from the home and about 100 orphans. But around 1971, there was really not a need for this type of institution or this home anymore. So it basically closed. I think the first people that bought it after it closed then sold it, and it sold several times in between. I think there was a cult that lived there at one time, and so therefore that's where all of the, quote, bad publicity and the paranormals became a little bit interested in the building. We prefer to think there were only wonderful spirits that lived there.
Debbie says her husband David became interested in the property and eventually they bought it. Their hope has always been to restore it, but its size and the amount of damage from time and vandals has made that a monumental feat to say the least. They agreed to do something they rarely do, to guide us on an all-access tour of the property, to tell you the story from within the crumbling walls of the Woodmen Circle home. It should be noted that since the inception of Expedition Texas, the Woodmen Circle home has been one of the most requested locations that viewers have asked us to feature. And coming up, we're headed to Sherman, Texas, and we're going to find it. And this was the cabinet, I guess?
Yes.
Oh, well, we're not going to see the front of that. Expedition Texas, presented by the City of Canton, Texas, home of world-famous First Monday Trade Days. Eastland, Texas. Find your adventure at eastlandtexas.com. And by Clifton, Texas, the Norwegian capital of Texas. See history, art, and more. Visit clifton.org for more information. What started more than a century ago as a flea market has become home to the most exciting shopping experience anywhere. First Monday Trade Days in Canton, Texas brings shoppers face to face with 7,000 vendors from all over the country selling everything imaginable. Couple that with the small town hospitality of local businesses and you have a good reason to visit every month. The market is held Thursday through Sunday, the weekend before the first Monday of every month, rain or shine. Plus, there's lots to see and do every day in Canton. Learn more at visitcantontx.com.
Hi, I'm Larry Vernon, Mayor of Eastland, Texas. Eastland is a wonderful city strategically located in the heart of Texas on I-20 and Highway 6. We offer a small community feel with exceptional amenities, often found only in cities many times our size. Here you'll find shovel-ready sites for your development projects, an enthusiastic workforce, blue ribbon schools, quality health care, and a progressive, business-friendly city and state government. We welcome you to Eastland.
Discover Clifton, Texas. Experience the Norwegian capital of Texas and all it has to offer. History, art, and more. While you're there, visit the Bosque Arts Center or take in a movie at the Cliftex Theater, the oldest continuously operating theater in Texas. The Bosque Museum, historic downtown, the Cultural Arts District, antiques, and shopping. Plan a trip and spend the day in historic Clifton, Texas. Learn more at visitclifton.org.
You're watching Expedition Texas.
We're in Sherman, Texas, about to enter the long-abandoned Woodmen Circle home. The home was a refuge for widows and orphans from the 1930s until 1971. After the closing of the home, the property changed hands many times. Now it's owned by Debbie and David McNeese. David will be our guide as we explore the property. So David, do I see what's left of hardwood floors here?
There is. I can only imagine what they must have been back in their day, but most of them are weathered and gone, and there's been so much destruction.
Yeah, I don't think you can polish this out.
It'd be very difficult.
Yeah. So what was this room?
This was the main dining room, meeting room where everyone gathered, probably 3 times, at least 2 times a day. And you can tell the windows are beautiful, arched windows, the fold-out screens that were there. So we had open breeze, because this was before there was air conditioning.
Well, I guess before air conditioning, that was the way they got the breeze through here.
That is, and the site was, I don't know if I can say particularly selected, but within the acreage of the land it was located so it would pick up the breezes, because back then they didn't have air conditioning, and so this way with the screened windows they could open the glass, let the breeze come through and cool the building.
And I imagine quite a view out of here being up on a hill like this.
Especially at night, it's very pretty.
Yep, I think you need some new floors in here. I know a guy. Wait a minute, this is a wall.
It is. It used to stand up here. It had more of a doorway entrance through there, and folks had just pushed it over.
Oh, that's not very nice.
No.
What is this?
That's a dumbwaiter. We're right in front of the kitchen where all the food and whatnot was prepared, and so there's a second level above us, and they could put food in there and send it up, and I would imagine laundry sometimes probably came down as well.
So this was the kitchen, and then the pantry is what is through the unintentional hole in the wall there.
Yes, that's a large closet. It had shelving and whatnot in there, so your canned goods and whatnot was stored there.
This is really cool.
Aside from the damage, the tracks and the structure, if you will, is still pretty intact.
Yeah, it is. So maybe I should quit messing with it, so at least something stays intact, right? Didn't you have someone come do a study on this that said that the building itself would be here another 100 years?
Yes, it's extremely solid. And the brick, when you look at it, there's really 3 layers of brick. They have a hard exterior brick. There's a large kind of hollow brick in the center, and then in certain areas, again, a hard exterior, so it's 3 layers.
And I guess if that was the dining hall, this would be kitchen.
Yes, it is.
Big vent-a-hood.
They had obviously the grilling area here under the vent-a-hood, and over there they had the sink and a large food preparation table and whatnot.
I guess this would have been the front of like cabinets or something.
Yes.
Oh, well, we're not going to see the front of that. It's stuck to the ground.
Too aged.
Yeah, yep. And you know what I've seen a lot of, and it wasn't even a feature of the building, but the stamp that's on this brick. This is some of that inner layer of brick you were talking about?
That is interesting, yes, because it's hollow in between that, which provided an insulating factor.
Yeah, and it says tile. What is the... See if I can find the other side of it here.
Looks like GIP, GYP.
Yeah, GYP tile. And that is pretty much the inner wall, and this other tile's on the outside of that.
Yes.
Huh. And so out the back door of the kitchen, oh, look at these gnarly stairs. Where does this go?
This is kind of the back entrance to what used to be the infirmary.
Infirmary. Now wait a minute, tell me about the infirmary.
Well, in later years, probably, I'm guessing here, maybe 6, 7, 8 years after they built the main building, they finished out that upper floor and became the hospital for the residents.
We're up here on a solid floor, not so solid ceiling.
What is Suddenlink to go? It's TV you take with you. It's your favorite shows online. It's the biggest networks on your laptop computer. And it's free to Suddenlink customers. What's Suddenlink to go? It's the easy way to get complete watching freedom anywhere you have a Wi-Fi connection. And it's another way. Suddenlink just keeps getting better. Start streaming TV to your laptop today.
We're in Sherman, Texas, exploring the long-abandoned Woodmen Circle home. The property housed widows and orphans from the 1930s until its closure in 1971. With the help of the current owner, David McNeese, we're exploring its halls. We're up here on a solid floor, not so solid ceiling.
It is coming down.
Yeah. Now, but we do have a great view from here, David. What are some of these other buildings we're looking at here on the property?
The building immediately back here was the garage. And at one time, and again, much later years, there was an apartment built up there for the groundskeepers, but primarily it was used for a garage, for the vehicles.
Okay,
and that building back there was the orphanage. It was constructed just a couple years after the main building, and that became known as the Pennsylvania House. And the reason for that is that was constructed primarily with contributions from the Pennsylvania chapter of the Woodmen Circle. You can see where there were even windows on the exterior here that have since been filled in.
This was originally an exterior wall. This would have been a window. You can see the outline of it here. And look at the bottom here. Is that granite, marble?
I believe it, I'm not sure. Probably granite.
But I've seen that on some of the other windows around the building. And behind you, it looks like this isn't exposed, but back there you can see the exposed original brick wall.
Yes, yes. Been covered for years and years with plaster. Let's go down this way, and we're kind of coming in, we're coming into the back of the infirmary here, and we have multiple rooms off of each hallway where the patients would stay until they get to feeling better and go back to their main room.
This is where you'd come to get your medicine and see your doctor? And
this is it. They weren't large rooms, but it saved going clear into town.
But they had a nice sink.
They did.
Double. That probably
at one time
didn't go in this room, did it?
I don't know. It could have.
Yeah.
I was not here when it was operational, but it's heavy.
I'm seeing, was that shag carpet or insulation?
I think that's insulation there.
Okay. Yeah, I think this place predates the shag carpet craze, doesn't it?
Yes.
I think I see some of the old carpet here. This is
Yeah,
kind of a
I
more
think
modern design, though. Here.
I think that carpet was added much later.
Much
there
later
was
than when it closed.
Yes, there was a cult that lived in here for a period.
A cult. This was their carpet, I guess.
They had a limited area of the building that they, if I can use the word, improved a little bit for their own living and all.
Really?
And I guess we could call that cult carpet.
Cult carpet. Oh boy.
I think he went by the name of a Reverend Ariel Sherman.
Really?
And lived up here with a few of his followers, and I think did odd jobs around town, and then moved up to, gosh, I don't recall if it was Washington, Oregon, and got into a little bit of legal troubles up that way.
Really? Very interesting. Well, thanks or no thanks to the walls coming down, you can see some of the plumbing in here now.
Yes, I'm not even sure they would use that. It looks like possibly iron pipe or whatever today. I think everything would be PVC pipe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is solid stuff right here. It's not going anywhere till the building does.
No, and I'm not sure you'd want to drink the water out of it either.
Probably not. Probably not. Now these windows are cool, but they are totally rusted in place.
Yeah, they are. There again, there were screens. There were screens in place when you'd open up the windows. Those frames themselves have glass in it, of course, and you'd open that up, and then you'd have the screens remaining, which would let the cold breezes blow through the building.
You said the architect told you that the building would be here long after we're gone, but I reached over to grab a hold of it, and it's coming apart in my hands, David.
It's starting to crumble, but that's primarily the mortar, the type of mortar they used, and that does have a life.
Yeah.
And the bricks are probably not as solid as they might be modernly.
Yeah. And this though is an interior brick though, and there's another set of bricks outside.
Outside, yes.
And those are solid.
Those are solid with probably some mortar that's coming out, but other than that, it's solid, yes.
Wow. What is this?
That was an elevator.
This place had an elevator?
Yes, it did.
Expedition Texas, presented by Go Power Sports. Family fun on 4 wheels. Visit GoPowersports.com. Eastland, Texas. Find your adventure at EastlandTexas.com. Clifton, Texas, the Norwegian capital of Texas. See history, art, and more at visitclifton.org. Hi folks, Bob Malden here for Go Power Sports. Whether you're looking for an adventure on the road, off the road, or making your own road, Go Power Sports has everything you need to get rolling. My kids and I love our Trailmaster 150 XRX from Go Power Sports. And we can always keep it in top shape with their full line of parts and accessories. Visit GoPowersports.com and be sure to follow them on Facebook. Go Power Sports, your off-road go-kart specialists.
Adventures in Eastland, where you'll find the best pork ribs in Texas at the Rips Ribs Cook-Off in downtown Eastland on the second Saturday in April. There will be cash prizes, food, games, live entertainment, dancing, arts and crafts, vendor booths, and much, much more. It all happens at the Rips Ribs Cook-Off the second Saturday in April. For more information, contact the Eastland Chamber of Commerce at 254-629-2332. Come join us in Eastland. Visit EastlandTexas.com.
Discover Clifton, Texas. Experience the Norwegian capital of Texas and all it has to offer. History, art, and more. While you're there, visit the Bosque Arts Center or take in a movie at the Cliftex Theater, the oldest continuously operating theater in Texas. The Bosque Museum, historic downtown, the Cultural Arts District, antiques, and shopping. Plan a trip and spend the day in historic Clifton, Texas. Learn more at visitclifton.org.
You're watching Expedition Texas.
We're exploring the Woodmen Circle home in Sherman, Texas. The The home has a great history of helping widows and orphans from the 1930s through 1971. After it closed in 71, it was owned by several different investors, but most recently David and Debbie McNeese purchased the property and have spent a great deal of time researching its rich history. I'm interested in this big shaft back here. What is this?
That was an elevator.
This place had an elevator?
Yes, it did. That served 3 floors. And you can see the shaft is still real solid, which speaks to the stability of the building again. A lot of debris and whatnot thrown there on top of the car, but it's all pretty much intact. Let's go around here next.
Nice staircase.
This leads to one of my more favorite rooms. I have always said if I rebuild this, I might turn this into an office area. Because it's got glass all the way around and has a beautiful view of the horizon overlooking Sherman.
Well, I can see why you like this. It would be windows all the way around.
It is beautiful. Now, this was not enclosed at the time it was built.
Really?
Some of the old pictures you'll see right below us is a little cutaway where there's a school bus picking children up. And there was a stairwell below us that came not straight out, but it came down immediately parallel with the building, and the school bus would drive in and the kids would come out of the building, out this door, down the stairs, and enter the school bus.
Well, somebody pointed it out correctly and made sure they tagged the building to make sure everyone knew this used to be beautiful.
Well said.
It looks like we're kind of back where we started from here, David.
Yes, we've just circled the building, and we are back at the beginning.
Now, this is the main building, but there's another piece attached over here. What is that?
There's a second building that was constructed several years later that actually was the building where the widows stayed, and I've just referred to it as the annex.
Really? Let's go see that.
Okay, let's do it. You'll notice as we come through here towards the annex building, they joined these 2 buildings with this little attachment here, which was kind of a sunroom, and the ladies had a couple of display cases here where they would display a lot of their crafts and their knitting and things of that nature. They could sit here with their families or that had come to visit, or children or whomever.
And I guess this is the way to the annex?
Yes,
right.
Straight through there.
Oh, wow. Now, David, I see a lot of this laying down here. Is this slate?
That is slate. That's fallen down from the roof.
This, would this have been the original roofing for this building?
As far as I know, yes. Slate has a very long life on it, and it's, I'm sure, reached its maximum age now. But
this one has for sure. Now, is this? I guess this is the long. Wow, this is a very long hallway.
That is, and as I said before, there's just rooms going off both directions, and then every 3-4 rooms there's a communal bath.
Oh, look at this one. We've got 2 varieties of carpet in here. We have your green cult carpet, the pattern we saw from the other side of the building, and even newer green shag carpet here.
That is really choice carpet.
I know it is, and you know it's underneath this, the cult carpet's in pretty good shape.
The one good thing we can say about it is it protected the wood floor.
It did, yeah. And looky here, nice, like new cult carpet, so clean you could almost eat off of it. But we're not going to.
We're not going to.
No, we won't try that. We've only scratched the surface of exploring the Woodmen Circle home in Sherman. We've seen the upper floors of the main building as well as part of the annex. Next week we'll explore the basement, the boiler room, and more, as well as an old cemetery where many of the widows are buried. Though the Woodmen Circle home is seemingly a large ominous presence on a hill near Sherman, the story is actually very kind. This place was once about people taking care of each other, a community of folks who needed a leg up in life. Next week on Expedition Texas, the conclusion of our expedition at the Woodmen Circle home in Sherman, Texas.